Nation's heartbeat, Arirang.
Hello everyone and welcome to In the Newsroom. I'm Yoo Ji-hye. As always, in the next half hour or so, we'll be bringing you the behind-the-scenes look on how we deliver the news to you and also hear from our reporters on some of the stories they've been covering throughout this week. In the Newsroom begins now. Hello everyone. Hi guys. Right, we are just a few days into the month of December, but already, wow, sub-zero temperatures have gripped the nation. And earlier in this week, we've seen a very heavy bout of snow. I think it was the first time we've seen that much snow in the nation. It did affect our newscast in a way that we didn't expect to pan out. Leanne, tell us.
So it was Wednesday we had our major snowfall, and I was night shift. So I didn't really expected that I would be the one covering the weather, so I just come in like jolly to work, and boom, it's like you're gonna go out there and connect live.
Right, it was the first major snowfall of this season. Here in the nation's capital, the snow has stopped falling, but the next major concern will be the widespread ice, as the temperature is expected to dip well below the freezing point later this evening.
We have Arirang News' Yurian out there on the streets of Seoul, and she joins us live to give us the details. Yurian, how is it out there?
Hi guys, the snow has finally come to a stop an hour ago at 5 p.m., but the conditions still remain extremely messy out here. The roads have turned slippery, and this has created hazardous conditions for the rush hour commute.
We often see fearless reporters with their, getting drenched and the hair flying everywhere. The umbrellas being collapsed behind the reporters. But it wasn't really the case for you, but still it was freezing cold, wasn't it?
It was freezing cold, and actually there were like balls of snow suddenly flying at my face because I was standing between trees and it was very windy, so like chunks of snow that's on the trees would like suddenly like come with the wind and like hit me. And I was like, what if this happens when I'm live? And he's like, I don't know, like my cameraman. So I was like thinking in my head, oh, should I like make a comment about it if it like was that on live? Like, should I say, oh yeah, as you can see, it's very windy as well here or something? But
More of a concern. What's more of the snow has finally come to a stop about an hour ago at 5 o'clock, but the conditions are really messy out here. 이거 뜯고요? It's in the forecast for Friday. Back to you guys.
지금 이거 가냐?
왜?
지금 한 발자국만 앞으로.
뉴스 시작했어요? 어떡해! 시작했다고? The snow. What's more of a concern now is that all this ice in hazardous conditions for the rush hour commute. Now Thursday morning is expected to be much colder than today. 히히, 재밌다. 저희 왕치 어쩌지? Hi guys, the snow has finally come to a stop an hour ago at 5 p.m., but the conditions still remain extremely messy out here. Concern now is that all the snow will turn to ice, creating dangerous conditions out here. We will see extremely cold conditions on Thursday morning with temperatures dipping as low as -10 degrees. And in the forecast for Friday. Back to you guys.
You did a great job, by the way. Let's give her a round of applause for her.
It was a good job.
It was great. So these extreme weather conditions do provide us with good news items, like you did. But at the same time, it does hinder our work when we are actually in the field. And Siwon, I'm sure you have something to say.
Yeah, on Wednesday, the same day, I was supposed to visit two places for this week's in-depth coverage on education policy pledges by the two leading presidential candidates. I was supposed to visit two places, but then it started to snow by around noon, and from our company to that place is usually taking around like 25 minutes, but then it took an hour and almost half. It's like 3 times, and we spent so much time on the streets, and we couldn't make the first place. But then the second place, the person who was supposed to give us an interview was stuck at the National Assembly, and their schedule was delayed an hour. And he said, "Oh, I'll be there in about 25 minutes." But meaning, on the condition of that day, it would take almost additional an hour, and we really couldn't wait because of the other schedules. So we really had to come back, and actually, we are falling short of that interview. But fortunately, the first interview was just enough to give us a full explanation about the policy pledges.
That's great to know. I mean, speaking of policy pledges, I mean, we have less than 2 weeks to go until the big presidential race. And right now we're doing a series of in-depth coverage like one you did right now. I think we've done the foreign policy, the economic democratization, and of course, education. It is one of the most prominent and defining issues at this presidential election. Can you tell us more about your story?
Yeah, interestingly, the two leading candidates, Park Geun-hye from the ruling Saenuri Party and Moon Jae-in from the opposition, has a very similar ideas about what is the problem in Korean education right now. They both agree Korean education system is way too expensive and way too competitive. So in regarding competition, we need to really reduce the burden of private education. That's the first main policy. And the second is we need to reduce the amount of we pay at universities, the tuition fees. As you may know, the price that university students pay for tuition is notoriously high.
Both candidates are pledging to cut the price of college tuition in half. But they have very different plans for achieving this goal. Park wants tuition to be calculated based on the student's income bracket. Moon says he wants to reduce college tuitions for all students across the board.
Right, so where will all the money come from? Is this feasible?
Yes, well, both candidates estimate it will take roughly about 5 to 6.5 billion US dollars annually to realize this plan. And of course, there are criticisms that this is not feasible at all. But other people from like civil society says it's just an excuse. We can always, have those money.
Besides the tuition fees, any other pointers or pledges they've made?
I think one of the most interesting pledges is that both candidates are also maintaining the same policy, which is for those who are in their second grade of middle school, which is 15 years old, they will get a free semester. They don't have to get any academic credits, and all they have to do is just search for their future. Isn't that great? I wish I had those opportunities.
For middle school, did you say?
Just one semester. They are called free semester, and both candidates are pushing, having the same idea.
Well, whoever becomes the next leader, hopefully those pledges would come true. But like you said, I mean, since this race is expected to be a tight neck-and-neck race, a lot of the candidates are coming up with those, trumpeting their ideas and their pledges, so to win as much vote as possible. And I think it's about time we talk about the TV debate that we saw earlier this week. It was initially aimed at providing our viewers, or voters like ourselves, to give them a chance to see what sort of pledges and promises and views these candidates have envisioned for the future of this country. But did it really provide that? I wonder. Have you guys seen the debate?
Yes, we have. Some say they weren't prepared. Some say one stood out against the others. What do you think?
Well, as for me, I was looking forward to listen to their policies, but then it became a drama.
Yeah,
It really did.
Yeah.
And also, I think there was a lot of comments on the internet that said the structure of the debate was also a problem. Like, each candidate got, I think about 1:30 to really answer. And later on, when I watched it, I felt like it became like a competition of who can say more to attack the other candidate, or about their ideas within that time limit. And I feel like that's not really an open debate. So I think that was just frustrating for me to watch.
The debate was focused mainly on negative campaigning, which was not very constructive for voters who's vying for information or about the policies that they're going to carry on.
Right. A day after the debate, most of the hype was surrounding how the ultra-leftist Lee Jung-hee was bashing at ruling Saenuri Party's Park Geun-hye. I mean, really, she doesn't even stand a chance to become the president, although she was there to use that opportunity to really tear her down. And she was very open about it, wasn't she?
Yeah, right. So there's this experts say there could be a possibility that only 2 of the leading candidates will have next TV debate, so that they, viewers can really compare the policies of the 2 main candidates. And also there are like 2 more TV debates are left, one for economic policies and the next for some welfare, culture, and other small issues. So I'm very looking forward to seeing other debates to come more.
Yeah, me too. I think everyone agrees on that. Right, okay, so we have less than a month left until the year 2012 comes to a close. Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions?
Lose weight and staying in shape and become more healthy.
Lose weight? You?
I know what I mean.
Gain weight.
Staying in shape and try to become more healthy because I feel like I'm very tired these days.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with there. I think keeping your health in check is really important because as being a reporter, we have to be constantly out there. It requires a lot of physical strength and
it's physically demanding. This job is.
And it really frustrates you when you want, like your head, you know what you want to do, but then your body can't keep up with you, and it's just you got to keep training, I think.
Right. I mean, speaking of health, I'm sure a lot of the smokers would have their resolutions set for quitting and stamping out that habits of smoking. And I think the story that Hyunbin did this week could serve as an extra motivation. Hyunbin, tell us.
Yes, definitely. Restrictions these days is on a rise on smoking itself. Earlier this year, the Seoul central government banned all smoking in like thousands of areas, like bus stops, and subways, near subways and stuff like that. And now they're enforcing a ban on restaurants and bars, and they're going to ban smoking there starting December 8th.
Restrictions on smokers in Korea are on the rise. Earlier this year, the Seoul metropolitan government banned smoking in thousands of areas around Seoul, with hefty fines for anyone caught lighting up. Now the central government is spreading the regulations to towns and cities across the country. The Ministry of Health and Welfare announced Tuesday that the revised bill to ban smoking at rest areas and restaurants was passed Monday and will go into effect Saturday.
Starting December 8th, smokers will be only allowed to smoke at designated smoking areas at over 75,000 restaurants.
Any restaurant over 150 square meters in area will be required to ban smoking on their premises.
I've seen your report. You had mixed reviews about that policy. Some were frustrated, some were actually welcoming it, right?
It was interesting to see that one of the restaurant owners of your interviewee says he welcomes it because a lot of women customers are complaining about, of the bad smoking, right?
Well, that restaurant itself, a lot of female customers come. So he did have a point, but I don't know about other restaurant owners. But I bet some restaurants are going to maybe lose some business out of this because people can't smoke. Especially when people drink, they tend to smoke more. But since they can't smoke, and they might be losing some business as well.
What about bars?
Bars, yes, bars too. They're if it's over 150 square meters, they're banning smoking. But probably bars are going to make a designated smoking area, so you don't have to go out in the cold, shaking with your cigarette, So.
How did the smokers react? And weren't they talking about their rights to smoke? Rights to smoke versus rights to breathe,
Well, I was going to, there's smoking areas now all around, so I was going there, just standing there. And I saw people coming by. I tried to get an interview, but they were all, against it because they didn't want their face on as a smoker. So, after 50 tries, that was one college student. He's saying that, it's our right, and he pointed out that, the restaurant owners might even not like this happening because they might lose business. And I got a foreigner interview. He said that it's really cold outside. I don't think smokers going to like smoking outside just for a cigarette while they're eating or whatever.
I think the city is planning a lot of measures to protect citizens' health, which I'm really agreeing to. So I think a lot of people who are concerned about their health will welcome this policy for smokers.
I think so. I mean, although there are people who actually doubt that this measure could be efficient, whereas in terms of making people quit, because this is just really limiting the space for people to smoke. But at least it's benefiting non-smokers. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I guess this would mean smoke-free end-of-the-year parties and celebrations for a lot of us. And speaking of parties and celebrations, it often involves alcohol.
Sure.
Some alcohol.
Especially country Korea,
Yeah,
we
of
drink a
course.
lot.
Me too.
And the end of the year is approaching where people casually get together for a drink. How do you guys get home after having a drink with a colleague or taxis, right? What if there are no taxis? Like in Christmas, people are rushing toward going home. In Korea, there's a lot of people who use private chauffeurs to get back home. What they do is they drive your car and drive you back home safely. And it's cheap as much as like $10 or $20.
57-year-old Lee Chang-soo has been a chauffeur in Korea for almost 5 years now. But instead of driving his own car, he makes his living driving other people's cars, normally for people who had too much to drink to get behind the wheel. It's a difficult life, Lee says. He and the 100,000 or so chauffeurs in the country often work the graveyard shift, where they're forced to deal with intoxicated people day in and day out. Their compensation for their troubles, usually around $1,100 a month. Lee works for 8 hours a day, but he only takes home 60,000 won or $55 US. In order to change that, Lee and his colleagues are taking initiative.
Yeah, I mean, this time of the year it will be very busy for them.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, I think this is a very timely piece that you did. So what did they say?
They were struggling to make ends meet, and that's why, and I had to, listening to his personal stories, I see why his move to make a cooperative to form sort of like a union between chauffeurs is necessary at this stage.
So how bad is the working condition are we talking about?
It's comfortable for us to pay a meager price for such a convenient service like $10 to $20, but they don't get all the profit. They have to pay about 20 to 35% to call centers who hire them as freelancers, and they have no health benefits. These people work in graveyard shifts, which is from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. for 8 hours. They take home about $55 a night.
안녕하세요. 김정희자입니다. 네, 노조 이번에 대리 기사분들이 힘드셔가지고 콜센터에서도 부당한 이익을 준다고 했는데
대리기사한테 불리한 거 있으면은 같이 활동을 하다 보니까 앞으로 우리가 어떻게 대리기사들의 권익을 지켜야 된다. 그리고 그런 부분에 대해서 이제 저는 권익에 대해서는 이제 굉장히 앞서서 얘기하는 부분이 있었기 때문에 이건 내가 갈 게 아니다 그러면 뱉어. 이유 없이 500원.
아 그래요?
네, 이유 없이 500원이에요. 그리고
선택권도
선택권 없어요. 그거를 그냥 전화 없이 내가 취소를 했을 때는 500원이고 일적인 부분이 있기 때문에 저는 이거는 노동자가 아니라 자생업에 가깝다. 그러니까 일례로 그런 거 말고도 또 다른 일례로 그 벌금 제도가 아까 얘기한 벌금 제도가 시행이 되는데 그런 것도 이미지도 개선돼야 되는 거고 우리나라의 어떠한 그 문화의 하나인데 저는 이거를 좀
Lee works for 8 hours a day, but he only takes home 60,000 won. Lee works for 8 hours a day, but he only takes home 60,000 won, or 50. His colleagues are taking initiative.
I mean, I use their services from time to time. And it's really convenient. And of course, like you said, I mean, there is very few places in the world that actually have this very convenient services. And I had no idea they were going through that sort of a very, they're going through that sort of a dire situation. Well, it certainly was an eye-opening piece. Thank you very much for that, Jian. So really this time of the year is when we drink and dine and, we rarely move. I mean, like what we're doing now. So it's really the time of the year that we put on some weight, unnecessary weight. And one of the ways to really boost them up and go out there in the field is what?
Golf. Golf is one, and there's a rising trend here. It's a leisure sports activity called screen golfing. To quote the famous U.S. Postal Service motto, neither snow nor rain nor dark of night will stop those golfers determined to play whenever they want. Now, when the urge to whack a few balls occurs, just drive to your local screen golf location, which allows players to enjoy their favorite game all year round. Avid golfer Lee Hyung-seok says he plays screen golf, essentially a virtual reality game, at least 3 times a week. At roughly $20 for a round of 18 holes, it's just 1/10 of the cost of going out onto a field, which on average costs about $200. Last year, about 50 million people played screen golf. That's twice the number of golfers that went out on outdoor courses. And unlike the real game, you can play at any course you want anywhere around the world.
I mean, this thing has been here in the country for a while.
Yeah, it's been since 2002 or so.
But why is it this time that you chose the story?
It's just increasing at a rapid rate, and now 80% of all the screen golf shops are owned by this company called Golf Zone. And the CEO recently came out and said, I want to make, because it's so popular in Korea, I want to make this part of the Korean wave, export it to other countries, and make it a Korean thing where other people can really enjoy it. Kind of like online gaming. It is kind of a game if you think about it. It is virtual reality.
Like
Wii. It's like
Wii.
It has cameras that can sense your action, and then in just a matter of seconds can know your swing speed, the trajectory of the ball and whatnot. So.
날씨, 시간 관계없이 할 수 있고 가격. 제가 마이크를 들게요. 필드 나가는 것보다 스크린 선호하시는 이유가?
필드 나가면 그린피가 비싼데 스크린은 그린피가 저렴해서 좋은 것 같습니다.
그냥 레이디로. 저 진짜 막 헛스윙 장난할 것 같아.
As soon as I take my swing, a camera will take up to 400 photos of me. The camera just took up to 400 photos of me to come up with the trajectory of the ball, my swing speed, and the landing point, all in just a matter of seconds. 이거 뭐야? Speed and the landing point, all in just a matter of seconds.
I think it's an ambitious goal that the person who in charge of his business was thinking to export it and make it into a next K-wave.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that to Leanne and everyone for another great week this week. And hopefully we can bundle up more and look out for those slippery roads. And I know we have a very busy days and weeks ahead. So good luck. All right. Have a great day.
유리한 아리랑 뉴스. 끝.
그걸 지금 그대로 유지하면서 개선하겠다는 입장인데 사실 독일사회
next.
Asia's heartbeat, Arirang.
Hello everyone, Style Scout here, back at our go-to trend spot, Arirang. It's really starting to get cold here in Seoul, and dressing appropriately can be difficult. However, I find that the best way to fight changing temperatures is by layering with accessories. On the streets, I've noticed a mass amount of ladies starting to wear heavier scarves, which are actually super practical accessories. You can pack them in your bag or wear them loosely if you're hot, and then when that frigid evening hits, you can wrap them up tightly. Another trend I've been seeing, which started coming back a couple years ago, are shawls. These are like a bigger, more blanket-like version of scarves and can freshen up your look in a totally different way. The closest accessory to cold weather neckwear has to be the knitted hat, which I actually really like on girls, as long as they aren't sagging and about to fall off. Finally, it appears that everyone has ditched their summer sneakers and decided to lace up their favorite boots. For the guys this year, it's going to be all work and combat boots again. As for the women, the equestrian type seems to be prevalent and on the rise. Whatever your choice is, please, please, please always remember, say no to Uggs. See you on the Shinsa streets.
Asia's heartbeat, Arirang.
a place we love and need to protect. A treasure island for all 7 billion of us. Jeju, one of New's 7 wonders of nature.
On today's Showbiz Korea, we'll take you to the special premiere of the movie My PS Partner, which stars handsome actor Chi-sung and the beautiful Kim Ha-jung. We will take you backstage of Arirang TV's music program Simply K-pop. Meet the beautiful and handsome celebrities on the red carpet at the 33rd Blue Dragon Film Awards. Learn all there is to know about artist NS Yoonji, who is dominating the stage with her amazing singing skills and excellent performances. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you with us once again. We have 1 hour of updates ready for you.
Well, it's always special for our viewers, every time, every day.
That's right. Thank you very much for joining us here on Showbiz Korea. The cultural president who will never die, of course, Seo Tae-ji, recently met up with his fans. He served coffee for them to celebrate his 20 years of activities in the music industry.
Well, Seo Tae-ji is not personally serving coffee to his fans, but there is a Seo Tae-ji cafe, and you can have free coffee over there for free, starting from the 1st of this month. And this is happening so that Seo Tae-ji could keep the promise that he made back in 1995.
That's right. To be actually precise, back in 1995, he partook in a survey and he answered this question. What will you do when you meet your fans 20 years from now? He basically answered, I will buy them coffee. Now, he didn't forget about his promise, and that's why he is serving coffee to all his fans.
And that's why you have to be careful when you're making a promise.
That's right.
Okay. Well, at the moment, Seo Tae-ji is busy working on his music in the States. Soon, we'll be able to see him with a fantastic album.
All right, very good, everyone. Stay with us. We have a lot of news. Don't go anywhere. This is Showbiz Korea.
A special premiere was held for the movie My PS Partner, starring Ji-sung and Kim Ha-jung. A lot of fellow celebrities came to the event with high expectations for the two's acting. We could see Kim Jae-jung and Park Si-woo, who are showing their traits in movies these days.
나의 PS 파트너 정말 소문이 너무 좋아요. 재밌고 기대감도 커서 그런지 몰라도 오늘 재밌게 보겠습니다. 나의 PS 파트너 화이팅! 대박 나세요.
And we could see Song Yuri, who looks stylish in a denim-style white jacket and a red bag.
지성 씨 초대로 왔습니다. 재밌을 것 같고요. 여러분들 많이 보러 와주세요. 화이팅!
Chae Si-ra looked chic and showed her luxurious premiere fashion style in all black. And we could also see Jin Se-yeon, who looked neat in black and gray. Ji-sung and Kim Ha-jung are showing a topsy-turvy R-rated phone scandal in this romantic comedy flick, My PS Partner. It will be released soon, and we hope it receives lots of love and positive reviews.
If he was the barista behind the counter, even espresso would taste sweet. I'm talking about the national fool, Ju-won, who turned into a barista for a day. Countless people were at the special event despite the freezing cold weather, and the man they had been waiting for finally showed up.
좀 춥지만 그래도 좋은 시간이 됐으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Before giving out coffee, Ju-won had a special photo time with his fans. He waved his hands to greet everyone around him and delighted them with his radiant smile. He then began to personally hand out the coffee to each of his fans and received presents from them as well. He looked like he was having a hard time collecting his presents. He handed over the coffee and extended his arm to shake her hand, but later, Ju-won switched things up a bit and shook his fans' hands before giving them a cup of coffee. Ju-won gave the fans whose hands he didn't shake a pat on the back as a way to comfort them. It's probably this caring nature of his that his fans really love. We wish the best of luck to Ju-won and hope his popularity continues to soar through the roof.
A special event was held by the producers of A Werewolf Boy to show their gratitude toward the fans of the movie.
오늘 밤 한번 새 봅시다. 굉장히 질문이 많네.
The lead actors from the movie, Song Joong-gi, Park Bo-young, and Kim Hyang-gi, attended the event and spent some quality time with the fans.
또 관객과의 대화 이 차례 또 저 개인적으로 기대했던 무대라서 좋은 시간 됐으면 좋겠고요. 또 550만이라는 정말 오늘 아까 얘기 들으니까 570만 거의 가까이 됐다고 들었는데 넘었나요? 넘었다 그랬나요? 지금 네 집계가 막 뭐 헷갈려요. 아무튼 상상하지도 못했던 예상하지도 못했던 일이 계속 일어나고 있어서 다 관객분들 덕이고요. 네.
A Werewolf Boy has become a huge hit at the box office, setting a new record as the melodramatic film with the most number of viewers. Song Joong-gi is one of the main reasons for its immense popularity, and everyone was curious about his next project.
해보고 싶은 배역이라 하면 너무나 많죠. 저는 아직 제가 인지도를 쌓은 거에 비해서 아직 경력이 굉장히 짧다고 생각하기 때문에 늑대소년도 그런 의미에서 정말 뭐 안 해봤던 거니까 해보자 이런 거였던 거고요. 이게 흥하든 망하든 좋은 경험이 될 것 같다는 생각이 있었고 결과적으로 굉장히 좋은 경험이 됐고요. 해보고 싶은 건 너무나 많은데 더 센 멜로도 막 해보고 싶고요. 예, 굉장히 왜요? 안 돼요? 알겠습니다. 다양한 역할에 대한 욕심이 좀 아직은 많은 것 같아서요. 예, 쭉 관심 갖고 지켜봐 주시고 응원해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Could A Werewolf Boy be the third film released this year to reach the 10 million audience mark following The Thieves and Masquerade? We'll just have to wait and see. Keep on showing your support for the hottest actor of the year, Song Joong-gi.
Goddess-like actress Son Ye-jin mesmerized everyone with her ageless beauty once again. We caught up with Son Ye-jin as well as Seo Kyung-gu and Kim Sang-kyung at the press conference held for their new movie, The Tower, at a theater in Seoul. The lead actress appeared looking stylish as usual in a hot pink dress with frills and drew everyone's attention when she turned around to reveal her sexy bag. The extravagant ring and the fabulous nail art also stood out. Her perfectly tamed fringes and semi-updo reminded everyone of Olivia Hussey from the infamous movie Romeo and Juliet, and it accentuated her pure and innocent image.
저희는 굉장히 육체적으로 힘든 걸 하다 보니까 정말 더 동지애가 생기다 보니 촬영 끝나면 당연히 이제 안주 뭐 꼬마게 맥주나 소주를 다 먹어야 되는 상황인 거예요. 그래서 저는 타워하면서 술 진짜 많이 들었어요.
Son Ye-jin made witty remarks and made everyone laugh throughout her interview. Her new movie, The Tower, is about a fire that occurs in an ultra-high-rise building. We hope it receives rave reviews from the critics and the general audience.
The six considerate guys who are like boyfriends. The group Boyfriend met up with their fans at a special fan autograph event held at a small theatre in Daehangno, Seoul.
저희가 한 분을 모셔서 굉장히 여자친구처럼 옆에다가 두고 퇴사연애를 할 거예요.
A lucky winner who had Boyfriend as her actual boyfriend for one lucky day was a Japanese female fan.
황민 나그쵸? 황민이 옆으로 가면 돼요.
Boyfriend met up with their fans in close proximity. They shook hands with their fans, talked and showed consideration, just like a real boyfriend. Boyfriend is showing their charismatic and distinct qualities through their hit Janus from their full album. We will keep an eye out on their future activities.
Childish Haha and devoted daughter singer 별 finally got married on November 30th, 2012.
네, 사실 실감이 아직까지도 안 나고 있습니다. 예.
존재만으로 내조가 되는 그런 현명하고 지혜로운 아내가 되고 싶습니다.
Kim Jae-dong was the host of the two's wedding, and the nuptial songs were sung by singer Kim Jong-guk and regular friends. The couple didn't have an officiant so that they could interact well with their guests, and Haha's father gave a congratulatory speech. This couple caused a huge sensation right from their wedding announcement, and they were in the spotlight as many top Korean celebrities were present at their wedding. These people can't, of course, be left out of Haha and Byul's wedding. It's Yoo Jae-seok, Chung Juna, Chung Hyung-don, and No Hong-chul of the variety show Infinite Challenge.
축하하죠, 뭐 저희.
그럼요. 예.
이제 행복 시작이죠, 뭐. 네. 아들 딸 많이 낳고 행복하게 사십시오, 우리 하하별. 예.
It's the group Sweet Sorrow, and they captivated everyone by singing a bit of their nuptial song before the wedding.
고운 사랑해 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 나에겐 누구보다 소중한 사람.
Girls' Generation members Taeyeon and Yoona, and they were at the wedding as well.
두 분이서 결혼하신다고 하니까 너무너무 잘 어울리는 커플인 것 같고 부럽고 그렇습니다.
너무 잘 어울리는 것 같아요. 행복하게 사셨으면 좋겠습니다.
소녀시대 같은 딸 낳으세요.
축하드려요.
Haha and Byul were in the spotlight with their unique wedding and left for their special honeymoon with their close friends. Congratulations on the couple's wedding, and we hope they live happily ever after. Welcome back, everyone. We just took you to the special premiere of the movie My PS Partner, starring Ji-sung and Kim Ha-jung. Many stars were actually there to show their support. I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, PS stands for Phone Scandal Partner.
Okay, and Kim Jae-jung worked with Ji-sung in the drama Protect the Boss, and I guess they kept the tight bond, tight friendship even after the production ended.
That's right. Now, along with Kim Jae-jung, many other stars were also there. Park Si-woo, Song Yu-ri, Chun Ye-bin, and many, many more. So hopefully this will receive many, many positive reviews. And I am also personally looking forward to the chemistry between Ji-sung and Kim Ha-jung.
I mean, if Adrian is looking forward to this movie,
You have to go.
has to be great, okay?
Yes,
All right,
indeed.
let's move on with our program. We're going to take you backstage of Arirang TV's very own music program, Simply K-pop. Let's go check out which artists wowed everyone with their fantastic performances.
Get ready to check out the spectacular performances by K-pop singers who were invited to Arirang TV's exclusive music program, Simply K-pop. Let's go meet the featured guests right now.
쇼비즈 코리아 시청자 여러분, 안녕하세요. NS인지입니다. 반갑습니다. 사이먼 오빠랑 저랑 항상 엔딩 포즈를 다르게 하려고 생각을 하고 있긴 한데요. 어제 같은 경우에는 오빠가 저도 몰랐던 걸 이렇게 서프라이즈를 해줬기 때문에 오늘도 뭐가 나올지 여러분들 궁금하시죠? 그럼 무대를 봅시다. 네!
화이팅!
예, 안녕하세요. 저는 익사이트의 리더 태구입니다. 반갑습니다. 저희 익사이트라는 그룹이 갓 데뷔했지만 아주 지금 뜨끈뜨끈한 반응을 얻고 있는데요. 바로 여기가 저희 익사이트가 있는 대기실입니다. 근데 지금 저밖에 없죠? 저희 멤버들은 과연 어디 있을까요? 당연히 여기 안에 있겠죠. 그죠? 지금부터 저희 멤버들을 소개하겠습니다. 들어가 보실까요? 자, 저희 멤버들은 지금 현재 저쪽 끝에 있습니다. 가보시겠습니다. 지금 저희 멤버들은 여러 가지 상황 중에서도 한 번에 통일됩니다. 갑니다. Feels Excite! 치어꾼이 땡, 너 땡이야 너 그러면 안 돼. 사인하고 있었어요. 이런 거는 집중해줘야 돼요. 사인은
잘 못 들었습니다. 제가 한 번에 두 가지를 잘 못 해가지고요.
뭐 하고 계셨어요?
선배님들의 동영상을
역시 저희는 항상 이렇게 대기 시간에도 모니터를 하면서 저희들의 끊임없는 발전을 위해 노력하고 있답니다. 그죠?
네.
막내군?
네.
뭐 하고 있죠?
지금 댄서분들의 춤추는 영상들을 보고.
저희 영상은 안 보고요.
저 영상 보고 잠깐.
이미 봤는데 네. 더 이상 볼 필요가 없군요. 훌륭하죠. 저희가 이 안무를 위해서 정말 피와 땀을 흘려가며 열정적이게 연습을 했습니다. 그죠?
Hell no more. Hell no. 뜨르르르르.
이 춤은 무엇입니까?
어깨춤입니다.
네, 잘못 추면 어깨가 너무 많이 움직이다 보니까 탈골될 수도 있습니다.
조심하세요.
무리하지 마세요. 이건 즐겨야 됩니다. 여유롭게.
평소에는 비트군 같은 경우에는 막내니까 사실 이렇게 막 평소에는 막 애교도 부리고 이렇게 일도 잘하고 형들 말도 잘 듣고 이렇게 막 잘 따라다녀요. 또 귀여운 면이 많은 친구인데 무대 위만 올라가면 막 인상을 막
근데 그래서 그런지 인기가 제일 많아졌어요.
네. 진짜
데뷔하고 나서
원래 연습한다니까요. 형이 알려주는 거 있지. 이게 반항적인
아직 자기 사춘기다. 사춘기예요. 이런 눈빛이죠.
쇼비즈 코리아 여러분,
둘, 셋.
안녕하세요, 스피카입니다.
안녕하세요.
유혹하듯이 이렇게 최면을 걸듯이 하는 안무가 동작이 있는데 되게 간단한 건데.
빠라빠빠빠. 빠라빠빠빠.
네.
완전 돼요.
어땠어요, 기분?
긴장돼요. 똑같아요. 긴장되고.
갑자기 10일달 리허설 할 때서
일단 리허설을 하러.
여기 이거야.
리허설 먼저 잖아 지금.
미니어 낀 사람. 미니어. 빨리.
안녕하세요, 투빅입니다. 네, 사실 보시는 거랑 똑같이 커서 큰 사람 두 명이서 모인 게 투빅이라고 많이 보시는데요. 사실은 숨어있는 의미가 있어요. BIG가 아니라 BIC로 되어 있어가지고 투빅 컨티뉴의 약자로요.
사람들 소리 마치 아무 일도 없던 것처럼 이 세상에 난 혼자야.
춤 분위기 맞게 좀 감성적인 곡으로 해봤어요. 발라드 곡으로. 그래서 목소리에 힘도 많이 빼고 되게 좀 감성 위주로 간 그런 곡인 것 같아요.
입술에서 새나와 네 앞에선 한마디도 자신이 없어. 네가 떠난지 흘렀는데.
쇼비즈 코리아 시청자 여러분, 저희 투빅 많이 사랑해 주시고요. 네, 앞으로도 많은 활동 24시간으로 할 거니까 저희 활동도 많이 지켜봐 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
저희 스피카가 론리로 섹시 카리스마로 돌아왔는데요. 저희가 더 무대에서 더 좋은 모습 보여드리기 위해서 더 열심히 노력할 테니까 끝까지 저희 많이 사랑해주세요.
저희 익사이트 이제 갓 데뷔한 아주 뜨끈뜨끈한
뜨끈합니다.
신인입니다. 하지만 그렇다 그래서 저희가 이렇게 막 항상 색다른 모습, 항상 이런 모습보단 친근감 있게 다가갈 수 있고 편안함 있게 마주볼 수 있는 그룹이 되려고 노력하고 있고요. 이제 저희는 국내뿐만 아니라 해외에서도 많은 활동할 테니까요. 많은 기대와 응원 부탁드립니다.
많이 사랑해주세요.
지금까지 Feel
Excite!
감사합니다.
Tune in to Simply K-pop every Tuesday on Arirang TV to check out the fabulous performances by talented K-pop artists and keep on showing your love for K-pop music.
We just took you to check out the backstage scene of Arirang TV's very own music program, Simply K-pop.
Yeah.
And look at Spica. They're back with a new concept, but I think a little sexier this time.
Very sexy, very feminine. Hopefully they will be able to bewitch all their male fans in the future, especially with the